Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Saturdays on Lonis Lane. We're so glad you've joined us. Tonight's going to be a little bit different, but as always, I have Tyler on my right, Cody on my left, and tonight what we want to do is we want to look at the future, because when you build a program, you can't build it 1 year at a time. You've got to look far and beyond, and high school recruits are happening from freshmen all the way up, and then you even have these really good kids who are even being looked at now in middle school, which is crazy. But here locally in this area, we've had several kids already sign their letters of intent. Tuesday, Jake Collette, who's a kicker at Heritage High School, is going to the University of Texas, all the way out there in Austin, and we're super proud of him, and we wish him the best of luck, even though he's not staying more local to us. Really hope to have him on the show at one point. But guys, let's get started with this, because this is important. This is how you build a program. So we have winners and losers. And the top SEC score right now is who, Cody?
Well, let's before we get to that exactly who's there. This is the first time in 18 years. 18 years, according to 24/7 Sports and Rivals, that an SEC team did not come out number one in high school recruiting. Now, this is just with the early signing class. These are the ones who have already signed their letter of intent, and it would takes a little bit of work to get out of it. But as of right now, there are 5 teams that are still ranked in the top 10 and 9 teams that finished in the top 20. And I'll run them off real quick. We're just going to talk about the top 8 right here. And we've got Alabama was the highest, Tennessee was the next, and you got Georgia, Texas, thanks to Jake Collette, really boosted them up there at 4. Texas A&M at 5. LSU at 6, which is kind of surprising with the new coach. You'd think some of those guys would wait to sign to the next signing date, but they also probably might have been a little nervous that they may not have that scholarship come if they didn't sign that letter quick. LSU at 6. Florida at 7, another kind of surprising one, and South Carolina is at 8th.
So let's talk about this real quick. And I know Vanderbilt's not in that top, but let's talk real quick about the number 1 quarterback in the nation, number 1 in the state, number 3 in the nation, Jared Curtis, flipping his commit from Georgia to Vandy. What a surprising shock there. But he is a national native. He is going to be playing close to home, and I think he has the potential to start, because Vandy's backup quarterback has now talked about entering the transfer portal. So, if y'all want to add to that, go ahead. If not, we'll go into the next
who does 24 have as number 1?
Overall?
Yes.
Oregon.
ESPN has USC.
Yeah, I've got
USC.
Yeah, they've got USC.
Oregon's number 2.
Oregon 2, Notre Dame 3.
ESPN has Texas at 2, Georgia at 3, Notre Dame at 4, Oregon at 5, Texas A&M is at 6, Alabama is at number 7. So this is ESPN. Let me look when this actually dropped though, because it updated on the 2nd. No, the 4th.
Yeah, so it's up to date, and their rankings, they have a different number 1. They're never going to agree on the same number 1 person, or any. Some of them may not even be in the same top 10. So depends on what you really look at. I'll be honest with you, I've always been a Rivals or 24/7 kind of guy. They're always the closest when it comes to rankings. ESPN has normally a very different look on some of the guys, and that's fine. You can look at either one. Kind of comparatively, though, you see there's still a lot of SEC teams in the top. But jumping back to Tyler's.
And this is not a vape, by the way. It's my truck key. I want to get that out, because I'm sure.
You want to call it a truck. It's a Jeep Gladiator.
It's a Jeep Gladiator. It's beautiful.
So it's a Jeep.
Going back to Tyler.
Jared Curtis, that's Vandy's only 5-star commit. 5-star commit this year. He is the highest. Nope, it's their first ever 5-star signing. Not just the one this year, first ever. They have 2 4-stars. But, yes, Jared Curtis staying at home. He got more money. He's not been promised day one starter, but if he was going to go to Georgia, he was at least going to sit 1 year behind Gunner and then be in a quarterback battle with, I always say Pulaski, but that's not how you say it, I don't think, who is the backup quarterback for Georgia. So it would have been a quarterback
Who's a
battle
sophomore now.
Yes. So I think that would have been a quarterback battle there. So he was never guaranteed anything at Georgia. So it was going to be harder to get on the field. Now, listen, he plays for Nashville Christian. They just won the state championship last night here in Chattanooga. They won like 54 to, I think it was like 7 or something. So he is a special talent. And he is going to be really good for Vandy as long as they get all the right pieces around him for sure. But that is a big pickup. Obviously, that's the biggest flip of the weekend or of the day. But I did watch an interview with some guys, some general managers of college football, and yes, you hate to see some of those guys flip, but you also like, all right, he didn't want to be here. You turn the page. All that money that you kind of promised him, it goes back into a bucket for somebody else for a transfer. You normally have 3. The biggest thing they worry about is retention. Bringing your guys back that already are on that roster. So you have a retention bucket, and you have a transfer bucket, and you have a high school recruit bucket. And so you take that money, and at the end of the high school recruiting bucket, which most teams, all of their commits have already signed, most of them. So you take that money now out, and you put in there. People have stopped looking at trying to get, 25 was that number that everybody always tried to recruit. That number is no longer 25. That number is 18.
Just because you have so much of an opportunity to go out there and grab, especially these JUCO guys who are coming up are really good, who have had a little bit of college experience under their belt, and it's turned out very well. Trinidad Chambliss is one of those. Vanderbilt's quarterback is another one of those who spent a bunch of time in JUCO and was able to come up. But Tyler, let's look at this. You have teams like Alabama who no longer have Nick Saban, who was thought of as a recruit guru. You have Florida, who is up there, who many Florida fans are not happy with the pick that they got Tulane's coach. LSU is up there. Do you see a lot of these big schools being able to do what they do because of the name of the school more so than the coach, or what is it? Because it has been a whirlwind, especially just this week of finding out who coaches are getting and everything like that. And you never knew what Lane Kiffin was going to do until Sunday. You didn't know who was going to be at Auburn or Florida. It was all toss-ups.
So, and just because Nick Saban's not at Alabama, and because, like we said, Cody's wearing the hoodie right now.
Got a great GM, though.
You have a great GM.
Morgan.
And Courtney Morgan. And like Cody said, you have the money to be able to pay these signees, these high school recruits. Nick Saban's still recruiting for the University of Alabama. If you say he's not, those recruits are still taking pictures with Nick Saban with all of his championship rings in his new office. They're still doing that. You have Florida, who is a name. You have, they've had a lot of talent come through Florida over the years. And LSU with Lane Kiffin transfer going over there and being the head coach there. And then you're talking about Auburn sitting there at 14 with 6 4-stars and 11 3-stars. That's just because your coach just got hired, Monday, Tuesday? So,
man, what a great hire.
So, it's a great hire, and a lot of people are saying it's a great hire. So, you look at that second signing during the summer, I think Auburn jumps up a little bit with their signing. I think even Florida jumps up a little bit there with their signing. LSU. Florida, not so much. The retention there.
Talking about LSU
and Ole Miss, I think more defensive players We'll end up going to Ole Miss because of Pete Golden. He is the head coach at the moment. We don't know how it's going to be by the start of next year. And then you got to think also with Arkansas getting a new coach, with Kentucky getting a new coach. Like, these teams have to recruit guys throughout the off season. Get in the transfer portal. Arkansas is going to have the money. Kentucky will probably end up having a little bit more money. These bottom tier SEC
We'll see how
teams,
basketball goes for Kentucky.
these bottom tiers, and the reason why Kentucky, Arkansas, and Auburn are now at the bottom is because of the new coaches. But you get transfers from Central Florida, right? That's where Alex came from. He's gonna get transfer coming over there because everybody, like I said, he's a great coach. He's gonna get transfers over.
So Cody, I want to talk about LSU because we were talking about it a little bit before we came on the air. LSU had 4 defensive players not signed who were verbally committed to LSU.
4 total, 3 defense, 1 offense. And all
players.
All 4 are 4 stars. Well, I'm take that back. One of them's a 5-star. Lamar Brown is the athlete. He's 6'4", 285, out of University Lab, which is there in Louisiana and Baton Rouge. So that school normally breeds LSU football. Now, there have been a few that have snuck away from LSU and went other places and been very successful. Lamar Brown is the number 4 overall nationally player in the nation. They still think he'll end up at LSU. I'm not real sure why he didn't sign. He may have waited. He might be waiting to see about a coach. I'm going to kind of throw in. Let's look at Penn State. Okay.
Are they looking to see maybe where Brian Kelly goes?
No.
Because Brian Kelly was the one recruiting
but
these.
it was the assistant. No, the assistant coach that was recruiting him. The main one was Frank Wilson. So Frank Wilson is and he's the associate head coach. He's from New Orleans. He's in that area. He was the primary recruiter, and secondary was Kevin Peoples. But let's look at Penn State. You asked the question: are they going for the coach? Are they going for the school? What are they going for? Penn State, I think they had 2 signings.
Yeah.
What do they not have?
A coach.
They don't have a coach at all. Penn State is known. I mean, they were a top 10 team in the country to start the season, preseason.
Top 4.
Okay, whatever. I mean, but they were in there. So they're not. These kids are going for a relationship. A lot of them are going for a relationship. Yes, money's involved, but you can have both. Like it, hate it, whatever. Money's involved.
I feel like Penn State would have more money than Virginia Tech,
yes,
but
they have nobody to offer it to them. No, they don't have a head coach. The coaches that are there are
you don't
kind
know
of
the direction.
The coaches that are there are kind of in a lame duck situation because they don't know what to do. So all the teams that struggled that didn't have a coach until Saturday or Sunday are still in a hard time. They couldn't. There was a dead period. You couldn't contact kids. So you just had to hope and pray these kids would still sign.
So Cody, one last question, then we're gonna cut this short. It's Friday night. Let these people have their time together. But we'll ask this question because you have coached kids who have been prospects. Now, more so in baseball than you did in football. But you coached a kid who just this past year got called up to the majors in Cole Wilcox, and great parents, great family. How is it these kids, playing in a high school level with kids who have no future in the sport whatsoever? What's it like coaching a kid like that?
Well, you could see it at an early age, especially with some of those talents. I'll be honest with you. I coached Jake as well. I didn't coach him in football. I coached him in baseball. And just talk about a good kid. And Heritage has a lot of good kids. There's a lot of really good kids outside of athletics in this area. A lot of just really good kids. But what's special is when you get a really good kid that also just happens to be a great athlete.
Yeah.
Cole, we go back, and you brought up Cole. Cole, if he wanted to, he could have went in the football direction just as easy, and if he would have stuck with it, he wasn't going to be the starting quarterback his freshman year, but he was definitely going to be the quarterback the sophomore, junior, and senior year. He played for us that freshman year. He made the hard decision to give it up and only focus on basketball and baseball. But the leadership that those kids have to bring those lower level talented kids
Elevate
them up to be better. It's just special. And that's what you got out of Cole. Now, not all of them are great leaders. They're really good athletes, but not great leaders. They're kind of quiet leaders, and they just kind of lead by example. Cole was more of a vocal leader who was very encouraging. He would get after you when he needed to.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
So we love high school athletics. Cody teaches at a local high school, has coached baseball for the last 7 years. Before that, he was coaching softball. He coached football also at a local high school. We help on the sidelines on Friday nights. We're very involved in local high school sports, and we're also very involved in youth rec leagues as well. I coach football, baseball, and basketball. Cody coaches baseball and wrestling. So if you're not, this is where kids develop. They learn a lot of life lessons in sports. And if you're not involved, man, I encourage you to do so. It's so much fun to just be out there and watch these kids grow and develop and love a sport that you used to love. And so
Give back to the sport.
Give back to the sport that you used to love, and it starts at this level. So I encourage you. If you're a college football fan, high school, you need to get involved in high school sports and in youth sports, because these kids are what are breeding your college athletics, and it's so cool to watch kids like Jake Collette, like Cole Wilcock, oh goodness gracious, there's so many. Just in this area, who have had the opportunity to play at the next level, and even in the pros like Cole did this past year, and he's got an invite for spring. Expect to see him in the pros next year and become a household name very quickly. He's a very, very good pitcher. But guys, that's all the time that we have. My computer is going to die if we don't. But thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it. We appreciate all the support that we get, and we love talking to people about sports. I was in jury duty just this past Wednesday, and had somebody say, "Hey, I've watched your podcast," and had no clue who they are. But that's great. I love it. It's so fun. But guys, I hope you have a great Friday night. I hope you enjoy your Saturday tomorrow as you watch these championship series. And guys, it's college football is almost over. And
we don't know what we're going to do after this.
It's heartbreaking. Basketball, baseball, we'll do something and keep up with what's going on in football as well. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great night. And as always, it's Saturday on Lonas Lane. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.